That actually took me by surprise. So not only did he see like the manager as a friend, but also as like a father figure as well. I had quite a history, dating back to like the end of the war, with a shortage of food. Okay, well, you know, first things first, of course, everybody has to have a freaking sad backstory in this. I already commented on that, like, before. But the second point, which is more important, which I may have already said this before, but yeah, Higurashi is definitely like the most Japanese story that I've read up until this point. This is the soul of a Japanese person. And like, you know, in this case, learning about the effects of the war, like after the war. Let me see. My father's status of research all going to plan. And, well, yeah, like learning about Japanese history, how all this is affecting the Japanese villagers and people in general in this. It is quite something. Higurashi sure is something. Research is going well. An L5 stage patient is required. The Queen Carrier must be willing to participate. Okay.
フルデさん、お待たせしました。今、最後の検査を終えたところです。もうすぐ戻ってくると思います。
娘が村のために役に立てばいいのですが。
とんでもない。リカさんの協力は村を救うことにもなります。おかげでようやく治療方法にも目処がついてきたところです。仕組みはまだ調べているところですが、リカさんの存在がやはり村人にとってとても大切なものであることが分かってきました。レベルの進んでしまった一般感染者は自力ではそのレベルを下げて症状を安定させるのが非常に困難です。ですが女王感染者に接近することで脳内にある種の物質が作られることが分かっています。その物質には鎮静効果があり、また進んでしまった症状のレベルを抑え回復させる力もあるようなのです。この物質を処方できるようになれば治療の強力な決め手となるでしょう。
You know, I have been thinking about this. You say that being around Rika, like, will have like this calming substance that calms you down, like, you know, lowers the levels of Hinamizawa syndrome in a scientific way. But isn't it like you're saying it's because Rika is the Queen Carrier, that she has like something special in her because, like, I don't know. But isn't it because it's Rika? I mean, look at her. It has a calming effect, even if you have like the Hinamizawa syndrome or not. Just saying.
そうですか。リカにそのような力が。
驚かれるには値しないのでは?
Like, no wonder the Queen Carrier theory is wrong in our eyes. It doesn't necessarily have anything to do with the Hinamizawa syndrome. She's just that good at being a source of calmness for people in a moe way.
フルデの巫女には荒れた心、鬼を鎮める神通力があると代々伝えられているんではありませんでしたっけ? 私たちが解明しなくても村の数百年にわたる歴史はすでにそれを知っていたわけですわ。
Okay.
そうですね。大昔の方の聡明さは時に現代医学から見ても感心させられます。
検査が終わったのです。
リカ、大変だったな。疲れただろ。これで自動販売機でジュースを買ってきなさい。
血をいっぱい抜かれたから補給なのです。
Rika took the 100 yen coin that was offered to her and ran out into the hallway.
本当にリカさんの協力のおかげです。彼女が献身的に協力に応じてくれなければ、これほどまでに研究が進むことはありませんでした。
リカは自分の友達もその病気にかかっているということを気にしていて、友達のためにも協力したいと常に言っていました。どうか先生方、リカの心意気を汲んでやってください。
もちろんです。毎週日曜日に貴重な時間を割いていただいているのです。必ずや成果にしてみせます。今後もリカさんに過酷な実験を強いることがあると思いますが、どうかお許しいただければと思います。
彼女に危害を加えることは絶対にありませんわ。彼女はとてもとても大切な身なのです。
Mm-hmm.
何しろお社様の生まれ変わりなんですから。
大昔の村人はどのようにしてこの病気のことを知り、古出家にその女王の血が流れていることを知ったのやら。ご先祖様たちにはつくづく頭が下がります。
それで実はまた辛いご協力をお願いしなくてはなりません。彼女の脳脊髄液の採取のご許可をいただきたいのです。また場合によっては彼女の頭蓋に線香を開け、直接頭部の中を検査させていただくことになるかもしれません。
頭蓋骨に穴ですか？
もちろん安全性には最大限注意します。リカさんはたった一人しかいない女王感染者なのです。間違っても危害を加えることがないよう、私どもで最も安全な方法を模索した上で提案させていただいています。
もちろんリカちゃんは女の子ですもの。頭部先行周辺の頭髪には気を使いますので、丸坊主にしてしまうようなことはありません。ただ経過を慎重に見るためにしばらく入院をしてもらうことになりますが。
もちろんその間面会謝絶ということはありません。検査にもぜひ立ち会ってください。お父さんが身近におられた方がリカさんも安心するでしょう。
その検査はどうしても必要なもので、絶対に安全なものなのですか？
脳脊髄液の採取も頭蓋の選考もどちらも 100% の安全を保証することはできません。常に 1% の危険があります。またリカさんに身体的あるいは精神的苦痛を与えるでしょう。いくら重要な検査といえどもご家族の同意なしには行えません。
ミカちゃんには実はもう同じ話をしていますわ。
リカはなんと？
自分は構わないと、それはもうあっけらかんと。
リカさんには危険や苦痛が伴う可能性があることをもちろん十分に説明しています。ですがやはり保護者の方の承諾をいただかないわけにはいきません。
リカは自分のことを本当にお社様の生まれ変わりだと信じている時があります。だから村人のために自分の身を捧げるのが自分の義務だと思っているところがあるのかもしれません。
立派なお子さんだと思います。
一応家内とも相談させてください。納得はしてくれているのですが、やはりことがことなので話をしないわけにもいかない。
The wife is gonna love this. Her own daughter having her skull pierced with a drill.
ええ、ご家族の同意は不可欠だと思います。よくご相談なさってください。
その検査は病気の根絶のために 重要な意味があるのですね。
はい。Hinamizawa症候群のベールを剥ぐ決定的なものになるでしょう。
決定的なものの第一歩にですわね。
すでにご説明しておりますように、女王感染者に万一のことがあった場合、感染コミュニティに致命的な崩壊をもたらす危険性が予見されています。平たく申し上げると、村人全員が突如として末期発症を起こす可能性もあるということです。
ええ、急性発症の平均から見て、女王感染者死亡から48時間以内に全感染者が末期発症を起こします。それだけは絶対に防がなくてはなりません。
リカが死ぬようなことがあれば、村中が大パニックに陥って恐ろしいことに。
はい。それを防ぐのも私たちの役目です。そのために危険を冒さなければならないのはとても皮肉なことですが、根絶のためには避けて通れない道だと思っています。
入江先生、必ずその検査を成功させていただけますか？
ですから医学には 100% や絶対などという。
ええ。
Irie answered with a nod, interrupting Takano's vague response. I mean, here's the thing. I mean, first of all, this is actually news to me, because I assume that they've already done the drilling and, you know, on Rika. So, I mean, clearly she's alive. So, this means that all this time she had like, because I assume that you have like a marking of where they drilled in your head and all. Like, she had it all the time. Like, if you were to check her head, would you see like scars in present time? But also, if that's the case, maybe it is possible, because, you know, before I was worried about the first sacrifice and how, well, not the first, yeah, the first sacrifice, that if Idiot does this kind of experiment on a well, the thing is, it was a terminal, like late terminal stage patient. It's not the same with Eureka. This is a completely different experiment, isn't it? Because I was saying, if they're managing to do this thing for Reika, maybe it is possible for Satoshi to survive like the experiment, but no. Satoshi's the one who is in like the late terminal stage, so like, I'm still hoping that he's alive.
私入江京介が命を懸けて必ずやリカさんを救います。村人も救います。絶対にです。
わかりました。家内と相談させてください。その上で後日改めてお返事させていただきます。
はい、よろしくお願いいたします。
After Rika and her father left, Takano started to laugh. My god, you're like a true witch.
どうしましたか？
Laughing like this, like all the time.
何か愉快なことでも。
いえいえ、患者とご家族から律儀に事前承諾を取られていたのがなんだかおかしくって。
リカさんには本来無用の苦痛を強いています。それくらいは最低限の礼儀だと思いまして、去年の男も正常な状態にあれば事前承諾を取りたかったところです。
入江所長はここの研究を始められてからずっと罪の意識に苛まれているのではありません？
それはどういう意味ですか？
This type of teasing was normal from Takano, but maybe she had gone a little too far. Irie made it clear how displeased he was to hear that.
Hinamizawa症候群の研究は生きた検体を裁くことでしか進められない。それが分かってなお あなたはこの研究を進めることに罪の意識を感じている。
罪の意識は必要です。殺人であれ、解剖であれ、相手に死を強いる点で変わりません。私たちはその罪を受け止めてなお、その死を無駄にしないために最大限の努力と研究を重ねなくてはなりません。
ご高説ですわね。では入江所長、あなたはこれまで人の脳を切り取ることに何度の事前承諾を取られたというんですの？
Irie didn't think Takana knew about that.
あなたの人の罪は脳の疾患によるものという独りよがりで、一体何人の患者が事前承諾なく脳を切除されたんですの？
それは。
常識は時代で変わる。当時は医者が治療をいちいち説明することなどなかったし、事前承諾なんて大したものではなかった。だから当時のことは気にしなくていいんじゃないですかしら。今は倫理上問題があっても当時は問題なかった。ならばいいじゃありませんの。でもそれに罪を感じているからリカちゃんやあの男にさえも事前承諾が取りたかった？
それは誤解です。そもそも治療と解剖では患者。
ねえ坊や、あなたが欲しいのは事前承諾という名の免罪符。
She's hitting him with the boya.
そうでしょ？
Jesus.
あなたが欲しいのは過去の罪をあがないたいという心を満たすだけの欺瞞、そのためだけの免罪符。
Well, she is speaking some truth right over here, in the sense that this is the Hinamizawa syndrome. They are gonna do like some experimenting on Rika, like no matter what, it is important to them. So the fact that Irie is looking for consent in the first place, yeah, it is something that Irie, they would help Irie's spirit a little bit, like making him feel a little bit better, at least with some consent, possible consent. Because what if they're gonna say no? They are gonna take Rika and do the experimenting anyway. I mean, Rika is willing to do so. I wouldn't be surprised if well, the wife is definitely gonna say no, and the father, I don't know, maybe he is gonna say no, or he is gonna secretly send Rika to do the experimenting without the wife knowing. I don't know.
後悔しているならば二度と脳に関わらなければいい。なのにだらだらと後悔しながら、あなたはいつまでも未練がましくこの世界で脳に関わっている。その罪の意識が本物なら、あなたはあの時所長就任の話を断ればよかったはず。そうでしょう、坊や。
とても不快です。私は失礼させていただきます。
聞きなさい。医学は常にその時代の倫理や価値観との戦いから勝ち取られるの。かつて高野先生がHinamizawa症候群の存在を予見した時、その時代の権威たちは自分たちの無知を棚に上げ、その先見性を嘲笑った。でも病に倒れる直前まで研究を捨てなかったわ。必ず自分がいつか評価される日が来ると信じて、そしてその日が自分の死後であったとしても必ず来ると信じて、それは強い信念と揺らぎのない鉄の意志があるから成し遂げられること。そうでなければ時代の無理解に高野先生は屈していたはず。研究はね、 意志の力で成し遂げるのよ。絶対的に強固な意志だけが結果を紡ぎ出す。でもあなたにはそれがない。あなたは自分の実績を誇るべきか恥じるべきかすら自分で決めかねている臆病者よ。そんな中途半端な覚悟でよくこのような研究所の所長を引き受けられたものね。血塗られた両手をさらに血に浸すことでしか明かせぬ研究だと最初から分かっていたはずなのに。
否定はしません。私は中途半端かもしれない。
ならば所長を辞任なさっては。守秘義務は残るでしょうけど、あなたはこれ以上罪の意識に苛まれなくて済むでしょう。私にとってあなたはパートナーである以前にクライアントが要求した人事上の駒でしかない。こうして研究機関が成立した今、あなたの存在はもう重要ではないの。しかもその上、研究に対する覚悟が足りず、研究のパートナーとしても役立たずなら、あなたは無能の用なしよ。私は一人でも研究をやめない。どんな罪も後悔も恐れない。強固な意志だけが未来を紡ぐ。かつて高野先生が高潔な精神で成し遂げたように、
立派な決意だと思います。ですが、私もあなたに及ばないにしても、わずかの決意があってここへ来ています。そして、あなたの言う通り、私の手はすでに血にまみれています。そしてHinamizawaに来て、さらに血に浸しました。だからその責任を全うするまでは、私は逃げることはできません。相変わらず私は、罪を清算できず、苛まれ続けるでしょう。でも逃げない。必ずHinamizawa症候群の研究を決着させます。それだけが、この研究に命を捧げてくださった方。そして、これから捧げることになるかもしれない方への最後の誠意だと思っています。
Irie wore a determined look on his face. He appeared different from even a moment before, when he was baffled by Takano having brought up those painful memories. For a short while, Irie's eyes displayed his strong will, and then he turned around. Damn. What a talk. Yeah, initially I was curious why Takano was bringing this up, like his history and all that. But yeah, I guess she did need to give Irie that kind of talk of determination and such. Takano is truly determined to see this through till the end. And she needs Irie to do the same. Well, maybe doesn't necessarily need. Because let's say that Irie has like the cold feet and decides to resign. It is more than likely, there's more than likely the possibility that Takano herself would become the new head of the Irie clinic. Thus, she would have more control over how things are going around here. But yeah.
おそらく、リカさんの検査は承諾が取れるでしょう。準備をお願いします。
ええ、心得ましたわ、所長。
They got their consent the following week. Okay. Oh boy, these fragments surely are quite interesting, that's for sure. We are learning quite a bit about these in ways that before we wouldn't have. Because usually we follow like one narrative / one person per chapter. But because of this, we're following like all sorts of perspectives. So we do have quite a lot of sources of information. That's for sure. Okay. Next is routine audit. 18 was ED, so yeah, it would be this. A routine inspection. Prior consent for collection of cerebrospinal fluid is required. Okay. The lights came on in the meeting room as the slideshow ended, and all the auditors began to applaud, praising the ADA institution's dramatic accomplishments.
素晴らしい。実に素晴らしい。本音を言わせてもらえば、私はこのひなみざわ症候群の研究はあまり期待していませんでした。
仮に進むとしても、10年単位で3歩進んで2歩下がるような研究になると思っていました。
いやいや、それが短期間の間にこれだけの成果を上げられるとは。入江所長の努力と指導の賜物です。
そんなことはありません。私を支えてくださる優秀なスタッフとそちらの高野さんのおかげです。
ご謙遜をやはり脳に関しては入江所長は天才ですわ。何しろ脳に関しては誰も及ばない実績をお持ちなのですから。
そうですな。あなたと同じ年の医者であなたほど大勢の脳みそをご覧になってきた方はおりますまい。
おめでとうございます、入江にさ。私もこれで東京に胸を張って報告に帰れます。
富武さんに良いお土産が持たせられて光栄です。あとニサというのはご勘弁を。どうしても馴染めませんので。というかリサさんって聞こえるんですよね。
まるで女性の名前みたいに聞こえますね。
でも二郎さんも影の立役者ですわね。なかなか成果の出せない私たちの予算を二郎さんが懸命に努力して維持してくださったおかげですわ。
いやでも今回の成果は劇的です。Hinamizawa症候群の病原体を特定し、今後の研究計画に具体的道筋をつけることができました。以後の進捗監査がとても楽しみになります。
これだけの成果があれば東京はねちっこく予算を削減しろとは言いますまい。
何しろ皆さんにお出ししている缶コーヒーの予算まで削られそうになったんですものね。
富武君、東京にしっかり報告して祝杯が挙げられるくらいの予算はつけるよう愚信してあげなさい。
無知ばっかりではいかんね。飴もないとね。
その飴は予算で還元していただけると一番嬉しいのですが。
And with that congenial atmosphere, our routine audit was over. EDA was surrounded and being questioned by National Institute of Infectious Diseases workers who had joined the auditors.
高野さん、おめでとう。みんなの前では言えないけれど、今日の成果は全て高野さんの積み重ねによるものだよ。
ありがとう、二郎さん。
Jiro-san and I are the only ones here who know that strings were pulled in order to create the EADA Institute. So only Jiro-san can understand what I had to go through.
でもこれでようやく研究の舞台に立てたというところね。私の挑むべき相手がようやく同じ土俵に上がってくれただけ。正念場はこれからよ。そしてここからが最も楽しいところになりそうだけど。
それでね、今回の件で中川本部長の方からぜひ東京で報告会をしてほしいと伝言をことづかってるんだ。アルファベットの理事会もぜひ君と会合を設けたいって言ってたよ。みんな君に直接話を聞いてみたいようだね。
あらあら、二郎さんを経由した報告じゃ物足りないのかしら？
いやーそういう意味じゃないとは思うけどな。きっと噂の美人研究員を直接見てみたいんじゃないかななんて
あら嫌だ、二郎さんったら。
失礼します。高野さんさ、東京からお電話です。
お待たせしました。高野です。
おお、元気にやってるかの？
小泉先生、わざわざお電話をいただけるなんてとても恐縮でございます。
Nice. The motherfucker is still alive, even to this day.
いやな、みおちゃんの研究が大金星を挙げたという話が来てな、お祝いを言おうと思って電話したんだ。
ありがとうございます。はい、おかげさまで研究の第一段階であり、最大の目標でもあったHinamizawa症候群の病原体特定に成功しました。
そうかそうか。ついにやったな、みおちゃん。天国で高野くんもきっと大喜びしているだろうの。
まだまだですわ。祖父はHinamizawa症候群の病原体特定などという段階を超えて研究していました。人の思想や意志が実は人以外の寄生的存在によって支配されていた可能性、それを暴いて初めて祖父の研究は偉業と称えられるのです。世界中の思想や宗教が全て寄生虫で説明できたなら世界はひっくり返るくらいの大騒ぎになるでしょうね。
それは愉快だの。偉そうに振る舞っとる宗教家連中が単なる寄生虫の親玉に過ぎんと実証されたら、それは本当に愉快だろうの。ぜひそんな愉快なのを見せてくれ。みおちゃんがそれを見せてくれるまで、私は天国のお迎えを断り続けてるからな。
縁起でもありませんわ。でも楽しみにしていてくださいね。きっと世界中があっと驚く発表をしてみせますから。その時に初めて世界中が祖父の偉業を知り、祖父が残した資料を奪い合って読み合うことになるでしょう。そこまで至って私はようやく祖父への恩返しを終えるのです。
高野くんが羨ましいの。私はな、金なんかこんなにいらんかった。この半分は捨ててもいい。あんたみたいな自分の志を継いでくれる孫が一人いてくれたらと思うよ。
ありがとうございます。身に余るお言葉です。
あとな、小泉のおじいちゃんからのプレゼントだ。みおちゃん宛てにな、祝杯用のワインを1本送らせた。みおちゃんの家の住所がわからんかったから診療所宛てにしてある。取り寄せに手間がかかってるらしいからちょっと時間がかかるかもしれんが、届いたらみおちゃんの研究を手伝ってくれた人たちを集めてそれを振る舞ってあげなさい。
祝杯用にワインなんて。はてさて、小泉先生からどんな高級ワインが届くやら。
そんな高級酒と違う。みおちゃんも覚えとらんかね。高野くんがいつも一本のワインを大切にしておったの。
I remember. That's right. My grandfather kept a certain bottle of wine. I don't know if he bought it himself or if someone gave it to him, but he treasured it, and he always said he'd open it when his research finally gained recognition. I was a child then, so I don't even remember what brand it was, but Mr. Koizumi would know. He went through all the trouble to find the same bottle of wine for this special occasion. For the first time in a while, Takano felt the same sunny warmth she experienced during her time with her grandfather.
ありがとうございます、小泉のおじいちゃん。
Aww.
やっぱりみおちゃんにはそう呼ばれた方がしっくりくるの。どうもみおちゃんに先生と言われても自分のことだと思えなくてな。
I can't help but smile along with him, because I think Tomitaki and Irie were just having a similar exchange.
そう呼ばれる方がお好きでしたら、人前以外ではそう呼んでも結構ですわよ。
できれば人前でもそう呼んでもらえると喜ぶんだがの。
I don't know exactly how old he is, but if he can laugh so energetically, he'll live for many years to come. I guess the saying about living a long life is true after all.
私も高野くんもみおちゃんのような子が本当の家族だったらと思うよ。本当にな。
My grandfather had his own family, of course. But because he was so into his research, he became estranged from his wife. They were legally married, but they lived separately. I never met his family when I was a child. I only met them after my grandfather committed suicide. Damn! He didn't die of old age or, out of stress. Old age? No, he committed suicide. Fuck! During his latter years, my grandfather went into psychological despair and began to look at his life with cynicism. His condition became worse over time, and he was shocked at his own dementia. He was afraid of living while his consciousness degraded. So he jumped off the rooftop of the hospital. Alright, Higurashi. Alright. Only my name was in his suicide note. None of his family members' names were in it. That's when all his relatives showed up and took everything my grandfather left behind. They were afraid I was going to get this estate. They had lawyers and all that, so I backed down. I asked for everything in his study in return. Those idiots don't understand the value of my grandfather's research. They were actually happy to strike a deal out of court, and they could also get rid of the piles of papers and jars with human organs in them. They never even showed up once when he was alive, yet, like hyenas, they appeared after his death. I never let them put their hands all over my grandfather's research. Fortunately, I was able to protect my grandfather's soul from their tainted hands.
それでは長くなると悪いからこれで切るな。困ったことがあったらいつでもおじいちゃんに頼りなさい。孫娘のためにいくらでも一肌脱ぐからの。
ありがとう、小泉のおじいちゃん。ミオはもっともっと頑張りますね。
Alright. Let me see about what the next fragment is. Well, I'm gonna say my thing right over here. I was thinking about it during this and I didn't want to forget. So the next one is... Which one is it? Okay, this one was routine audit. The next one is Houjou Satoshi. Piece 30. Alright. 8, 16, 24, Satoshi Houjou. Okay, this should be it. But yeah, what was it that I wanted to say? There was something, but I'm forgetting for right now. Ah, yeah. It is something that I actually said before, but it does seem to be going really well for Mio Takano right over here when it comes to the research and all that. So I'm waiting for that moment where she is gonna be going for the plan to destroy the village and Rika and all that. Is it something that she had in plan since childhood? Or is it like a last minute desperate move to complete the research because it kind of makes you question, is it necessary for a village to be destroyed in that manner? Or was it something that she wanted? Because, you know, with the backstory that we've learned of Takano and the lovely comments that you guys have offered in the videos about Takano and the way she acts in the chapters, you know, when she was interacting with Keiichi, with Shion and Mion, I offered the idea that, okay, maybe it's because she wanted to make them paranoid because to make them more spicy and juicy and all cooked up with the Hinamizawa syndrome in the later stage. But it could also be because she wanted to bully them. She wanted to feel in power. A lot of her life, she felt like life has really fucked her over with her childhood and all that. And now that she has advanced so much in her career and all that, she feels like a lot more in power to push people around and all that, to have power over people. And this is what she does with the kids. So it could be that. And her destroying the village and killing Rika and all that, that is also like her way of feeling powerful, of feeling like a god, you know, the same way that she described herself as god. And also, it wouldn't just be because of the research, it would also be because that's what she wanted. She wanted revenge. She wanted to take back at life, you know. But the question still stands. Is that actually something that she wanted since childhood? Since she started to take the village by herself? Not the village. The research all by herself? Or is it like a last minute thing? I don't know. I guess it's time to find out, because like it seems to be going really well so far. Like I'm waiting for that moment where Takano is gonna go into that plan. When I asked Rika-chan, she said Satoko might have possibly gone up to the mountain behind the shrine. She's fond of going there. The mountain is covered in trees, vines, and fallen logs, and she really likes the area. Any child would dream of having a secret base. And to Satoko, her secret base is the whole mountain. However, the mountains were undeveloped territory, making them a dangerous place that was easy to get lost in. As her brother, I'm a little concerned that she spends so much time on it. But maybe I should worry more about myself getting lost since I rarely come here. The mountain gets dark quickly when evening falls. If I still can't find her, I should look for her somewhere else.
Satoko! Satoko!
I'm yelling as loud as I can, but in the woods, my voice doesn't carry that well. It's Satoshi. It has been quite a bit since we last seen him or heard him. According to Rika-chan, she has been making her secret base in this area. She goes up there alone to expand it. What does she mean by expanded? If it's a secret base, she must not want anyone to find it. Does that mean she's up to some traps? Considering that, I should have noticed the traps on the mountain before one got me. Suddenly, my foot sunk into the ground and snagged on something like a jumper tied beneath dried leaves. I heard some noise from above, and then a big ball made of branches fell right next to me. It had to be one of the playful traps Satoko loved. If I wasn't so lucky, I'm sure the ball would have hit my head. I was actually thinking that a rope would take Satoshi's leg and he would have been like upside down, hanging by the tree. Hey, the little rat.
Satoko! ダメだよ、こんな遊びは。危ないじゃないか。
この先は危険だから入ってはいけないってエーディン書の看板がちゃんとあったはずでございましたよ。それを無視する方には素敵なトラップの大歓迎がお待ちしておりましたよ。
As her brother, I should stop her from doing things like this. But when I see her brilliant smile, I can't say anything else. I haven't seen that smile in some time.
それよりサトコ、今日は家族みんなで食事に出かけるから夕方までには家に戻りなさいって言われてたじゃないか。
別に私、お食事なんか行きたくありませんわ。お母さんとお父さんが2人で行けばいいんじゃありませんの？行きたければニーニーも一緒に3人で行けばいいんですわ。
まだお父さんのこと怒ってるのかい？
私に灰皿を投げつけましたわ。
違うだろう。
私をベランダに追い出して鍵をかけましたわ。お昼ご飯を抜きにされましたわ。タバコの種類が違うと言われましたわ。好き嫌いはダメだってほっぺたを叩かれましたわ。それから。
She isn't talking about her current stepfather. Things about all of our different stepfathers have mixed themselves up in her head. Every time our mother remarried, we had to call a different man our father. The word father is no word that should be taken lightly. If you don't truly acknowledge a man as your father, how can you call him that? That's how much weight it carries. However, just to make things smooth and peaceful, I used the word father even if I didn't want to. But it was too difficult for Satoko, young as she was, to do the same. Ever since Satoko was very little, she's been having troubles with all our stepfathers. She's never opened up to our current one. To Satoko, a father figure is no longer someone she can trust. It's true that our current stepfather doesn't have any experience being a parent, so he sometimes gets rather upset with her. But ever since the instant where Satoko called the child abuse hotline, our stepfather regretted his mistakes and tried his best to communicate with her. Even my mother realized how much Satoko has suffered emotionally when it was pointed out by the social worker. She is doing her part in trying to bring Satoko back into the family. But Satoko completely refuses to even try. It's understandable though. Her childhood has been filled with misery. Satoko can only open up to me. That's why I have to be the one and only family member she can trust. Otherwise, she'll be all alone in this world. But a brother and a sister alone can't be considered a family. Even if we don't get along now, if we continue to communicate, even in a small way, we may be able to become a real family someday.
サトコ、今のお父さんはだんだん優しくなってきたよ。サトコと仲直りしたいっていつも言ってる。
そんなの聞いたことありませんわ。
お父さんがそれを言おうとするとサトコが逃げちゃうからだよ。お父さんももっとサトコと話をしたがってる。もうかぼちゃを無理やり食べさせたりはしないって言ってたよ。
嘘ですわ。かぼちゃを食べるまでは食卓から逃がさないって言われて、椅子にビニール紐で縛られましたわ。
Again, she isn't talking about our current stepfather.
サトコ、とにかくニーニーと一緒に家に帰ろう。せっかくお母さんが福引きで当てたお食事券が無駄になっちゃうよ。予約制だから今日行かないと無効になっちゃう。
ニーニーだけで行けばいいんですわ。私は一人でお留守番してるのが好きなんですの。
Satoko usually doesn't stay out playing this late. She knows we're going out, and that's why she's out here alone. Although I want to snap at Satoko, I controlled myself, because she only has me. I can't scare her.
とにかくサトコ、帰ろう。食事に一緒に行くかどうかは帰ってから決めてもいいんじゃないかな。それにサトコに案内してもらわないと僕家に帰れない。
ニーニー、あれだけ何度も一 一緒に連れてってあげましたのに、まだここが覚えられませんの？まったくしょうがないニーニーですわね。
Satoko holds out her hand. She often says she's embarrassed to hold my hand in front of people, but she's holding out her hand right now. I took that hand. Satoko's fragile hand. I have to protect her as her big brother.
帰ろう、サトコ。
ええ。
Aw. Boy, do I want that miracle for Satoshi to come home at some point. Boy, do I wish for that miracle. Alright, next. Okay. Houjou. Satoko. Should be like this page. Yeah, there you go. My name is Satoko Houjou, but Houjou is my current father's family name. I was also Satoko Hatake, Satoko Yoshizawa, and also Satoko Matsuura, because of my previous fathers. I'm still not used to being called Houjou-san. If someone calls me Satoko, then I know that person is talking to me, because Satoko is the name I've been using since I was born. I don't understand why my mother keeps getting remarried and divorced. If she's going to get a divorce, why does she get married? If she's married, why does she get a divorce? I've asked her before, but depending on the situation, her answers were different. When I asked her when she was married, she got angry. When I asked her after she got divorced, she cried. I don't understand the meaning of marriage, so I have no interest in drawing pictures of a bride in a wedding dress. I don't think I'll ever get married. I don't want to keep changing my child's last name. My teacher once asked if I liked my mother. I think it was when I was in kindergarten in Okinomiya. That was a very difficult question, because sometimes I loved her very much, and sometimes I hated her very much. I couldn't decide. When my mother was nice, she smiled all the time. She made us happy. She thanked me for being her daughter. When my mother wasn't nice, she frowned all the time. She treated my brother and me very poorly. She told me I should have never been born. My teacher asked me if I liked my father. That was a very easy question, because I always hated him very much, no matter who he was. The new fathers always treated me nicely at first, as if I was their real daughter. They always told me I could think of them as my real father. But they couldn't be my real father. Besides, I didn't even know my real father's face. How could I call them my father? I couldn't. That was disgusting. Right before divorce, my fathers always became very irritated with me. They treated me like a cockroach. They told me they didn't have money to feed me. They threw things at me, and they locked me out on the veranda. I was told I could forget about them because that was all in the past. I think that was a different teacher from a different school. Maybe that's true, because ever since Houjou became my father, my mother has been smiling. I haven't seen them get into a fight, as I've seen happen just before divorce. They have little arguments here and there, but those don't lead to a divorce, and they always make up. But I'm sure they'll get a divorce sooner or later. And it'll be the same old stuff with a family court, divorce settlements, a night flight, and child support. So who knows how long this Houjou will be my father. And that's why I don't even feel like calling him that. He also treated me well at first, but when I didn't call him father, even after he asked me repeatedly, he became irritated. they'll get a divorce soon. When my father gets into this mood, a divorce is on the way. After a divorce, it's my mother's turn to be irritated with me. And she'll tell me she shouldn't have had me, or she can't be happy because of me. Why is my existence causing problems for my mother? I asked my brother and he told me, if you have children, it's not easy to find someone to get married with. To my mother, remarriage is a very important job, so I can understand having children around will cause problems. I think I finally understand the reason why I'm a nuisance to her. I asked my brother something else. Why are children hated by new fathers? Well, that's simple. That's because family members all have different roles. A mother's job is to love her children. A father's job is to love the mother. That means I'm a nuisance to both my mother and my father. My brother is more mature than me, so they don't look down on him as a nuisance. Uh-oh. The text is getting redder, but maybe I am. No, I am definitely a nuisance. So now I know. Both my mother and father want me dead. But if they kill me, they'll get caught. But that doesn't mean they won't kill me. If I were to look down the cliff, and if no one was around, my mother and father would push me off for sure. My father has become abnormally nice to me recently. He started to act that way ever since I made the fake call. I know for sure that it's just part of a plot to kill me, so I won't let them trick me. I'm sorry. Lately, when I listen very carefully, I can hear a voice apologizing. The voice sounds similar to mine. Her mother must be telling her that she shouldn't have been born. I'm sorry. But I won't apologize like that. I'll live. I'm going to strike back. I'll kill before I get killed. I'm sorry. Well, it would seem that is confirmation enough that Satoko is the one who pushed them off the cliff. That she was the one who killed them. It is sad because if it's true that the father wanted to make things better, if Satoko didn't do what she did, and the family eventually would have been happy. Yeah. You know, at first, when I started this whole connecting fragments arc right over here and all that, it was pretty exciting because it seems to be like different stories like each time, like bite-sized mini stories, like events that would explain stuff, and it will be different like each time, which is a nice change of pace. And I still like that, of course. But on the flip side, we have like all the Higurashi collection of sad, despairful bonanza right over here, all cooped up in like one bag filled with despair and such. That I just take like one fragment like out of the bag and it's like, oh, looks like it's another sad one, folks. Just like that. All the stuff in like succession, like fast, like reading them one after the other, and instead of the long process that I had to go through for like really sad moments of a person's life, like Shion's long days of killing people left and right, like in chapter 5, which has struck me. Now I have like short bite-sized version of that. Learning about Idia's backstory, like seeing Satoko suffer, learning about Oishi's way of how he viewed his friend, the manager. I am still waiting for some Jiro Tomitake's sad backstory. Everybody has to have a sad backstory. But, okay. With that being said. Yeah, we are still not done. A conflict between Houjou. Alright. Yeah, we surely are not done with the suffering here, folks. The Houjou family is well known for going against the whole village during the damn conflict. Both the husband and the wife were rather aggressive, and they fought a fierce battle, especially against the Sonozaki family. Although the whole village treated them coldly, the husband and wife didn't really care, and kept on fighting. In a way, they were extremely strong-willed people. I'm sure their children had to go through a lot because of them though. Satoko-chan and Satoshi-kun were treated coldly by the villagers as well. In addition to that, Satoko-chan and her stepfather didn't get along, so their stress levels must have reached their limit. Because I'm the director of the local clinic, I rather respect a member of society. People usually tell me a lot of things. So I was aware of the treatment they were receiving even before I met them. I met Satoshi-kun first. Satoshi-kun came to the clinic because he felt ill from too much stress. He must have thought he had a cold. When I examined him, he even told me that. But hearing his repeated sighs and by seeing the exhausted look in his eyes, I knew right away it wasn't just a simple cold. Medication would heal his symptoms, but that'll only be a temporary measure. The only way to truly cure him would be to change his living environment. But that was easier said than done. He was surrounded by tangled and complicated relationships with the village and his family, so just resting for a few days and taking some medication wouldn't do. Time was the only thing that could ease off the cold treatment from the villagers. And we were talking a very, very long time. That's why I felt I had to be their first ally in this village, so I could rescue them. I couldn't do anything about his stressful environment, but I could try to diminish the anxiety. So I thought the best way was to teach him how to vent his stress. And playing sports is the best way to do that. So I asked him to join the junior baseball team that I coach. As a researcher, I devote most of my time to Hinamizawa syndrome, but I too need to do something else to relax. I used to play baseball, so I decided to coach the local kids team. After a while, the children of Hinamizawa started their own baseball team, and somehow I became their coach. Doctors can't provide health just by giving medication. You need a sound mind in a sound body. I believe health can be maintained through sports as well. But our team needed more people, so I thought of asking Satoshi-kun to join. Being a bookworm, Satoshi-kun wasn't interested in playing sports. He wasn't sure how joining the baseball team would help his situation. I guess there's your motive for why Ariakey became a coach for a baseball team as well. It's simple as that. I didn't need to go on and on about athletic medicine to explain why sports help people become healthy. I just wanted him to experience it himself, to realize how great it feels to play sports. I think he realized it gradually. He was reluctant until the very end, but he attended all the team activities and games. As I saw Satoshi-kun slowly regain his liveliness, I realized my plan worked. However, if Satoshi-kun was under that much stress, then Satoko-chan, who lived in the same family climate, must have felt the same way. Unfortunately, I didn't think of her back then. So when Satoko-chan was carried into my clinic as a patient, I regretted doing nothing about her, even while knowing the situation. As Satoshi-kun recovered under my guidance, Satoko-chan was left alone in her stressful environment. Also around that time, That was an instant bad enough to make Satoko-chan collapse. That was, of course, her parents' deaths. The day of the Watanagashi festival was a very uncomfortable time for the Houjou family. Because although it was a village festival, it was also a day to celebrate victory over the dam construction project. It's understandable that they would plan a family trip around that time so they could leave the village. Satoko-chan's parents fell off the cliff at the park they were visiting. It happened on such an unlucky day. Because it happened on the day of the Watanagashi, people said it was the curse of Oyashiro-sama. And people labeled the Houjou family as one that was cursed by Oyashiro-sama. The parents were given the cold shoulder by everyone in the village. So with their parents gone, Satoshi and Satoko should have been freed from that. But, fortunately, the accident happened on the day of Watanagashi. That's why the members of the Houjou family continued to be shunned. Satoko-chan was the only one who was at the site of the accident. Satoshi-kun didn't go on the trip because he had an event with the baseball team. Therefore, the police mainly interrogated her. The detective, Oishi, suspected an act of organized crime by the village. So with Satoko-chan as the only witness on site, he drilled her with questions. She was as stressed as Satoshi-kun, perhaps even more. So of course, she couldn't take it. During the interrogation, she began to wheeze and gasp for air. The anguished look I saw on Satoko-chan's face when she was carried into the clinic was very, very tragic. It broke my heart just to imagine what she had to go through.
監督、サトコは大丈夫ですか？
ええ、安心してください。一時的に混乱してしまっただけですよ。
あっても大丈夫ですか？
やっと薬でぐっすり眠れたところです。できれば起こさないであげたいところです。しばらくゆっくり休ませてあげましょう。様子を見て数日入院させてあげるのもいいかもしれません。大丈夫。私に任せてください。
ありがとうございます。
I know Satoshi-kun is a great big brother who truly cares about his sister. He empathizes deeply with her. In other words, Satoshi-kun's worries and stress were reflecting Satoko-chan herself. Maybe I shouldn't say this, but while Satoshi-kun was, of course, sad about his parents' deaths, he may at the same time have been a little relieved that they were gone. His sister wouldn't have to be driven into a corner anymore. Unlike Satoshi-kun, Satoko-chan didn't have the social skills to get along with her stepfather. So, putting her mother aside, I was certain that losing her father, the greatest cause of stress in her life, would bring great change to her home environment. But I couldn't believe what happened next. The two were sent to live in an even worse environment with their aunt and uncle. Although at that time, I was rather optimistic, thinking this new environment would be better for the siblings. And the rest is history. Yep. Well. Right, also, let me open up the guide again, because I closed it. So this will take a little bit. Okay, so we had the Houjou siblings. Now it is Sonozaki Mion. Hold on. Okay, yeah. The Houjou siblings. Sonozaki Mion, piece 38. Which one is it? 8, 16, 24, 32, 40. Okay. Alright. Alright, well we have something new over here. Let's just change let's just change perspectives right over here. I like this stuff is drowning me right now. Like let's switch to Mion. I think that she's having a better time.